There's one thing that is making that process a little more difficult. The University of Idaho now owns the home where Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana were murdered last November. The school plans to move forward with raising the house. Gray says 3 of the families want it preserved until after the trial, despite the prosecution and the defense telling the court they approved of the crime scene being released.
We have made it very clear to the University of Idaho that we do not want that house to be demolished, and they are ignoring us completely.
I just realized while editing this video that the prosecution and the defense are okay with the house being released, which to me logically answers a bunch of questions. If Ann Taylor is done with it and her team, then that speaks for itself. I'm just curious what she knows that we don't, because I still have a lot of questions about this house. We're gonna get into this video though. Let me know what you think.
Oh boy, what are we doing? Innocent until what's going on? I don't know how that camera started like that. I was trying to get my chapstick on and put some on. It is what it is. It's a holiday, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I know it's a celebratory time for some, not so much for others. I respect everybody's views as much as they're respectable. Some people are celebrating, this holiday. Some aren't. Obviously, knowing me, you don't know when you're going to get this video. I'm going to try to get it out tonight. It is 11:21, so if I stay focused, it should be no problem. I was trying to go and get me some damn lunch from Cracker Barrel, and that didn't work out. So they got like an hour wait. And the reason I'm not going, I can do an hour because I can do things for an hour, but I'm thinking if they're that crowded and packed, I don't think they're really... This is one of the times when I'm thinking like they're probably not going to pay, good attention to the sanitary conditions in which they serve the food in. So I'm good on that. Anyway, man, damn. I've been wanting to make this video for a few days. I still have Bethany Part 2 that I want to drop, but it's a little outdated in the information, man, because a lot of the things have already been covered, reviewed, and you know how information moves in this generation, in this time we live in. It's just like yesterday's news is kind of like last year's news, but we'll see about that. But Idaho University, can I take my time with this one, man? I am some of the new news we're catching up on. I'm seeing the the video from whatever lane that is. I'm not impressed. I seen some commentary on it from some people I trust. It's me, that may change in the future when I hear more about it, see more about it, but right now I'm not impressed by that video. Seems like some more speculation, just some stuff to keep the rumor mill going. I'm not saying that was the intent of the video, but I'm saying when everything is said and done, it's seeming like that's all it's going to be right now. I haven't seen anybody say anything concrete about the video or see anything concrete in the video to absolutely tie to the tragedy that happened here. I'm seeing a lot of people saying Ethan's body was blocking the door. Respectfully, I want to know how you guys know that this isn't just more speculation and rumor too. I'm not saying it is. I'm asking, how do you know that? And I'm asking from a factual perspective, guys. I know even me, a lot of us are drawing conclusions here. We don't know what's going on, but for me, that has to be a very, not fine, but a very defined line between the facts of the case and what we're speculating about. Now, I don't know where your mind goes and how you deal with it in your world, but in my mind and in my world, the way that I was raised to interpret the English language is facts are things that don't need agreement. Like, they can be verified. I posted on Twitter the other day a link that totally had nothing to do with the case, but it has to do with science. And damn it, I wish I knew what it was. Give me a second. We're gonna slow down. Somebody said that, like, hey, watch the video, funny, fast talking. And with that in mind, man, that is my cue to remember to slow down. So just stay with me right here, because I want to give y'all this post, man, and tell y'all the context of it. Rest in peace to all these victims. Right here is from NBC News. An analysis of 107 studies found that when it comes to lowering mortality risk, some drinking is not better than none. Having an alcoholic drink or 2 per day is not healthier than abstaining, studies show. That was relevant to me because a lot of people put a lot of stock in science, air quotes there. I'm not knocking you, you know what I mean? I'm not disrespecting you. I'm not even speaking condescendingly to you. I'm going to tell you why I never have. And I said this in a post. When they say studies, all they're doing is saying scientists and whoever got it, you know, these professionals, here we go with these words again, got in some lab in some room and made these determinations from the studies that they were doing. It means nothing to me. I mean, literally and respectfully, it absolutely means nothing, because these same people, scientists, and their studies were the ones telling us that having a glass of wine or this or that, you know what I mean, was good for you if you do it moderately. Right now, they got another study, and that's how it always goes since I've been alive for 1,000 years. Every scientific fact that comes out, whether we're talking about things like this, whether we're talking about our dietary habits, the way we work out, the way we do this, the way we do that, every scientific study that comes out conclusively verifying something, there's another, if not more, scientific studies doing the reverse of verifying it, like unverifying it. What's the damn word I'm looking for? Let me get that word right, because I used it in a Twitter post. You slowing down here, guys. Disproves it. For every scientific fact that conclusively verifies something, there's another scientific, and I'm putting air quotes on the word fact there, fact that disproves what this scientific fact verifies. That's why science has never meant anything to me, guys. That's why statistics have never meant anything to me. Those things can be manipulated. Facts can't. So when I think about that in the context of criminal cases, you got things like DNA, you got things like phone pings, you have things like, back in the past, we had we call them lie detector tests, but they have another name for them. Every time I turn on the camera and start recording, my nerves just get to me. Polygraph test, eyewitness testimony. If you do the research on criminal investigations and the tools that have been used throughout human history, many of these things were called conclusively, they couldn't be disproved. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they were absolute evidence. Eyewitness testimony, fingerprints evidence, polygraph tests. Now, a lot of these things are known for what they are. They are tools that may or may not be helpful. Hell, polygraph tests aren't even admissible in court anymore. Think about that. Once upon a time, they were conclusive evidence. They would send men and women to prison based on the damn lie detector test that we've now found. Scientists and scientific facts said this test is absolutely true and absolute proof of whatever it's saying. But now it's not even admissible in a court of law. I suspect that very soon a lot of these modern tools that they use for investigative purposes are going to run into the same brick wall, guys. And the reason I think about these things is because I examine facts. Let me repeat that fact for you. Once upon a time, these same scientists, these same legal analysts, these same LEO and detectives and all these people were telling us that this polygraph test was 100% conclusive, that eyewitness testimony was absolutely credible. Now they would tell you, hell, one of the worst investigative tools is eyewitness testimony, because if you get 10 people in the room, they're going to see 100 different things. These are facts. This isn't something that can be argued against. All these scientific facts, that's why you got a new study about whether drinking or abstaining from drinking is healthy or not, because it was never a fact. And I think once upon a time, like I said again, we're going, just like we see with the older investigative processes, we're going to see some of this with the newer investigative processes. That's why I never rely on it. I don't give a damn what your statistics say. Once again, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just talking facts here. Facts never change. I don't give a damn what scientist looks at them. I don't give a damn what LEO looks at them. I don't care if I look at them. They never change. Facts are the facts. They remain the same. Statistics change. Scientific conclusions change. Facts don't change. And I examine facts, guys, through the lens of what I've experienced, through the lens of others' documented experiences. And that's how I come to the conclusions I come to. Which is why I'm factually questioning Idaho University. What the hell are y'all doing? I want to reiterate, one reason I went on that tirade is I'm asking if you guys can factually say that Ethan's body was where the ruined mill is saying it is now. I don't know. I'm not saying one way or another. I'm asking you guys. I'm asking from a factual perspective. And I'm asking also, Idaho University, what the hell are you doing? I had this clip, man. I was gonna put it in the beginning, but I guess now that I'm doing the video, I'll put it right here. So let me show y'all something real quick, man. We gotta be real. We're talking about what we think, and then what we like to think, and what actually happened in reality. What we think and what we like to think does not match and measure what happened in reality in just this instance alone, and at all. I'm saying all that to say now we get back to these wild and outlandish theories. I'm going to drop a dime on my new theory, and I'm not eliminating any other theories. We're just thinking through it all. My new theory has a lot to do with drugs, and I think a lot of you, I'm sure a lot of you have already been exploring this and talking about it, and I'm late to the party. I don't want to be rude and disrespectful to these victims, but just because they're deceased, they're no longer with us, doesn't make them Mother Teresa or Father, you know, whatever he would be in that situation. It doesn't. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be disrespectful. What if it was something as simple, yet to some as illicit as a love triangle? I don't know. I'm going to leave that there. I said this many times, man. My original videos were made back in November, December, January. We're talking about 6, 7, 8 months ago, right? These are the conclusions, the suppositions that I was drawing then, knowing that I'm just supposing. None of my suppositions are facts, guys. None of my assumptions are facts. I'm just supposing here. And a lot of them were right and some of them were One of them I had as I was listening back is my thoughts about the law enforcement officers. I was like, hey man, I think most of them out there doing a great job. I think most of them are not out there trying to mess it up. I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I was listening back to that, I may have been wrong about that. I may have been very wrong about that. But one thing that I know I wasn't wrong about, number one, listen, forgive me sensitive ears. I know how it goes. If it was me murdered in this house, it was if somebody who looks like me or fits my description, it would be easier for y'all to look at the what's the word I'm looking for there? There I go stuttering again. The totality of our humanity. But because these were females, because they were white females, because now the pictures that we see of them, there are certain boy, ain't no way in hell y'all think those girls look like that every day. But they pick certain pictures because they want us to remember them in a certain way. I don't, and I do have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it because we do want to show all humanity the ultimate respect. On our worst days, on our best days, all of us are simply human. And I think that's what we forget in our desire to always paint things, depending on who we're talking about, in appropriate ways. And definitely because of who these girls were, who they look like, and who they represent, we always want to remember them in an appropriate way. Remember, I've only said girls yet. Oh, but we remember, right, there was a young man there too. He's always and usually pushed to the back burner. But not only shout out Ethan, shout out his family members too. I love that family. I love the Chapin family. I just do. From mom. I haven't heard a lot from dad. Usually that bothers me. But in this case, for some reason, it doesn't. I just love mom's representation of that family. And I don't think it's just her own. I think that comes from them as a unit. Even when I heard her speak, she made sure she was speaking. And she said she made sure to mention his siblings and stuff. So, but back to what I'm saying. If you think those young ladies who are now passed away because they were murdered look like that on a daily basis, you done lost your damn mind. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. You better go look at some of these videos that people got from their Instagram pages or from other people's, TikToks and, all these other social media pages that we all have that caught them off guard and stuff. They're human. They look like humans. Sometimes they look dusty as hell. I'm saying it because I'm trying to bring us back to reality here. And the bigger reality that I'm trying to get to is not even about the victims necessarily. It's about the environment that they were living in, the town that they were living in, this community that they were living in. Spoiler alert, I said this in one of my videos, man. I'm not kicking myself. I'm slapping myself in the head now. You can go back and listen to my original videos. I teased it a lot. I said I got a new angle. One of my angles is, and I said it a lot in my videos, it's the drug angle. Now everybody's talking about it. I'm not saying they got it from me. Hell, anybody can look at this case and see several things could have been a possibility here and still can. Remember the professor? Remember the killer that escaped to Africa? We've forgotten about a lot of these things, guys. But the drug angle was always a possibility for me. The reason why is because for me, I don't know why other people were thinking about the drug angle, but for me, they said it was a party house, guys. Can we talk honestly here, man? I've been that age before. I'm telling you what's going on. You talking about a party house? Bro, at the best, we're only drinking a little bit and smoking marijuana. At the worst, we doing all kind of illicit drugs, man. We doing all, man, listen, young ladies, young men, the girls are getting their heads knocked off. Ain't no telling what that kind of illicit activity, sexual activity is going on. They're adults though, so as long as everybody is consistent here, like this may be morally incorrect and morally inappropriate and morally substandard to some people, but we got to come back to reality, guys. People live certain lives and they make mistakes and they never grow from them, and they make mistakes and they grow from them. And this was a college town, a bunch of wild kids away from home, and they living their life. They ain't got nobody to tell them what to do and what they can't do. But while they're kids, they're also young adults. So for me, that just says, damn it, that somebody in there was probably doing drugs. This is the bottom line. Meaning the drug angle early on came into play for me. Now that everybody's talking about it was a total dope, like it was a drug, not a drug angle. I mean, I'm hearing rumors it was a drug operation. I'm gonna bring you guys back. Hey, I'm always doing this, man. 13 minutes in. Welcome to Innocent Until, guys. How y'all doing? Check out some of the earlier videos. Tell me what you think. Try and slow down. I'm hearing the feedback. Praise you guys for the encouragement. Whether it be all good or all bad, I thank you for the encouragement. I thank you for watching. You're welcome to like, share, subscribe. Hey, man, what were we talking about? Just reality, just facts. So when y'all guys talking about this drug operation, are you aware and communicating like you're speculating, or do you have facts and so you know that's what you're talking about? Your speculation isn't facts. You can draw reasonable conclusions without it being facts. So when you're talking about this drug angle and Ethan's body, once again, are you talking facts or are you talking reasonable conclusions? And reasonable conclusions are not necessarily facts. That's it. I had a reasonable conclusion that I thought all of the law enforcement officers involved in this case were doing their best job. I question that. Idaho University. How many times I'm going to say that before I talk about y'all, man? Y'all send a cleaning crew to the house? So my man told me, hey, man, might be biohazard, right? They're going in there to get up the biohazard. We're doing critical thinking here because the lady from Court TV was out there doing the video. We seen her cleaning trucks in the back. So I'm like, yo, why are y'all cleaning a house that y'all about to destroy? This is what I'm asking on Twitter. Makes no damn sense to me. You got anything you about to destroy? Have you ever destroyed anything? Did you clean it first? What the hell? You clean it if you're taking it to Goodwill. You clean it if you're giving it away to a family member or a friend. You're cleaning it if you're donating it somewhere. Who the hell cleans things right before they take them to the trash can? Are you crazy? We are lazy as hell as Americans, man. We don't even want to clean the things that we have to clean. Who in the hell is cleaning things before they take them to the dump? But then my man said on Twitter, he said, well, hey, it might be the biohazard part. Now, we're going to get to something else, but let's just speculate that maybe they're cleaning to get the bio. To me, that makes sense. I worked in an industrial cleaning company for years before when I was younger. Even if you are destroying things, there are certain things, and maybe it's even an OSHA requirement that certain things be separated. I'll use that word, from what's being destroyed. Maybe that may, I don't know this. I'm saying, having worked in that industry and just thinking through it critically, that's very possible right there. But then one of my other Twitter friends that I really like her, I think it was Erin. I like Erin a lot, guys. She always says, remember, these are human beings. This isn't a capitalistic situation here. Erin said, well, I thought the biohazard part was taken care of a few months ago. And shout out to my brother who brought up the critical thinking part that they may be going in there to get the biohazard stuff out. He didn't respond to that. And Erin, I think she even put like a video or a screenshot up or whatever. Like the facts, guys, facts don't change no matter how we feel about them. She verifies, basically she asked the question, but it was a rhetorical question because she also posted with the question the proof that the biohazard cleanup at least was started on in the past. Now, we think critically over here. We're not going for angles and narratives. They could have started on it and not finished it, but it still at least raises questions. Why are you guys still cleaning up a damn house that you destroyed? But it's okay. Because Idaho University, they come back and they answer this question for us. And the same Court TV lady, not her, not them, but they put out a statement, I guess through her or through somebody else, and she got a hold to it. Oh, we're going in there to clean up, the things that by and by we can give to the family. I'm not knocking that. It makes sense. There may be still things in that house that haven't been taken out yet that don't even need cleaning or that can be cleaned and they can be returned to the family members who may or may not want those things, depending on how they feel about it. We're going to talk about Steve Gonzalez and his statement. But it still at least raises questions because one big question that maybe you guys can answer, because I'm lost on a lot of this stuff in this case as I was waiting until the trial, and I'm getting back to that because it's just too many rabbit holes out here in these Facebook groups, Twitter, whatever. Every day it's another rabbit hole. I'm just like tuning things out and waiting till the trial because we're going to see what rises to the top, right? But a question that I want to know that can you guys answer for me, because it's been floating around and maybe it was answered and I missed it, is they had 8 hours, guys. Were the drains in those showers checked? Well, we got like 3 rooms or something in there, like maybe 3 or 4, I don't remember. How many showers, how many bathrooms were in the house? I'm pretty sure some of you guys know. I seen like a 3D model or something floating around. Were they checked well? Were they checked at all? Because one damn thing we're looking for is, where's all this evidence that should be outside of the house? And one reasonable answer to that question, why we aren't seeing it, is because it never left the house. Because it was cleaned up inside of the house. And one place to clean things up at is in bathrooms and sinks and toilets. So were these things checked? Or Idaho University, because the owner of this house gave the house to you guys, is this why you want to destroy this house so quick before these things can be checked? Is that what you're sending this damn cleaning crew in to do, to sanitize and to whitewash these things, however that process is? Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to answer the damn question and there ain't no facts behind this whatsoever, 100% speculative. I believe that's what the hell is going on. I believe that's what the hell is going on. I believe y'all are trying to clean that damn house up and get rid of it before the evidence that exists inside of it is found out, which comes into play. Why wouldn't the officers be stopping you? They released the house. Why wouldn't they be stopping you? Can we get a benefit of the doubt and say that they did search all of these things, inspect all of these things, do what they were supposed to do with all of these things? Hell no, we can't. I can't. I'm sorry, Innocent Until. I can't. I think I was wrong when I said I think they're doing the best job they can do. The problem I have with my logic is this right here. It would take not just the local authorities, but the feds and everybody involved in that case to be in on the cover-up. I'm kind of struggling there. I want to say, that's my bottom line point here, guys, I do think there's a cover-up going on. I do think it involves a possible frame job. If not framing Bryan for a crime he didn't commit, framing him for a crime he didn't commit alone. But it would, remember, critical thinking. And critical thinking is you test your own theories against the possibility that they may not be true. And for me doing that, I'm saying, it seems there would have to be more than one law enforcement agency involved. Now, how do you get all of these multiple law enforcement agencies involved without somebody saying, hey, man? So that's my no to the cover-up. My yes to it is we've seen it happen before. From law enforcement, from local law enforcement agencies to the FBI, huge and massive cover-up. So now you ask why. Why do you think it's a cover-up, cowboy? Jay, whatever name y'all know me by. Innocent Until, who gives a damn? I'm just human. At the end of the day, no better than nobody. Nobody's better than nobody. I think it's a cover-up because the bottom line, Mrs. Exculpatory evidence. Mrs. I did and didn't hear. Mrs. I did and didn't see. Mrs. Double misses 8 hours of no activity because we was cleaning up the damn crime scene that we either planned ourselves or participated in. They are the keys to this case in the house. I said it without even knowing what the hell I was saying. 1122 Kings Road. Go back and watch the video. I might link it right there in the upper hand corner right there. Right hand corner. Go back. I said the house is the key. It's talking to us. I didn't even know what the hell I was saying then because it had not even crossed my mind that the shower drains and the sinks and the toilet needed to be inspected, because that's very possibly where the evidence that we're looking for that should definitely be outside of the house went. There's no way in hell, it's just a circular conversation, guys. There's no way in hell those 2 young ladies were in that house and everything that happened in that house connected with what they're saying and not saying about what they experienced while it was happening. There's no way in hell that their story could make sense with them not being involved. So when you leap from that to, okay, well, why in the hell are they cleared? Why in the hell can everybody see this but local law enforcement, who are much more professional at their job than we are? No matter how delinquent they are at their job, they're much more professional at it than most of us are. So hell, if we can see it with our unprofessional, delinquent ass eyes, why the hell are they looking over it? What do they know that we don't know? Now, obviously, this is why I say I'm gonna wait to trial. I don't know these ladies are guilty, but I damn almost as much as I can know that there's no way in hell the stories that they tell us and what happened equal them not being involved. Meaning, there has to be a cover-up. But why would you be covering something up? Could it be the drug ring angle? Could it, do Bethany and Dylan have connections with somebody? Is there something that's going to come out if we find out what really happened in this case that's going to implicate and indict people that don't need to be implicated and indicted from the perspective of those people and the perspective of that town? What was going on here, man? And it goes back to what I said earlier that may have offended some ears, guys. And I said it early, not early in this video and in my earlier videos. We love to think of certain people in certain places and certain demographics in quaint and safe and beautiful and just awesome tones and terms. That's not reality. They were murdered. Listen, man, don't nobody just go murder 4 people for nothing, bro. Whether it was a serial killer or something made somebody feel like this town and these 4 people were primed for one of the most horrific murders ever, which goes back to, y'all say y'all getting stuff out, Idaho University, y'all getting stuff out for, the families? Did you hear me talk about my homeboy, the builder, the architect? He sent us the pictures. He sent me the pictures on Twitter of just a room in a house where 1 person was stabbed to death. That was damn near nothing coming out of that room, bro. It was 1 person stabbed to death. That was damn near nothing coming out of that room because blood was everywhere. I've heard this said, but I seen it in those 2 pictures he sent. We don't even realize how much blood is inside of the human body. And that was 1 young lady, rest in peace to her, that was stabbed to death in that picture, those 2 pictures he sent. This was 4. I know it's a big house, so that increases the chances that there were places and rooms and things that weren't touched by the blood. But damn it, it's gonna be, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But what are we doing here? Who are we covering for? Why are we so intent to believe that this non-evidence that y'all have against this man? So guys, a lot of people had a problem with me saying the evidence doesn't match the suspect. They definitely have evidence. No evidence is evidence. That's evidence. That's how my mind works. The evidence is there. Even if it's a lack of evidence, that's evidence. What we're looking for, I think how some people's mind, maybe y'all are thinking right and I'm thinking wrong, but the way my mind works is this right here. All of it is evidence, but we have to ask ourselves, what does the evidence say? I think when I say there's no evidence or the evidence doesn't match the accused, y'all think I'm saying evidence that he's guilty. No, the evidence is there, period, but it's telling us one of 2 things. That he's either guilty or not guilty. Of doing it by himself or not doing it at all. Of doing it with people or not doing it at all. That's what when I say the evidence doesn't match the accused, I'm saying a lack of evidence is still evidence. It speaks. The defense will go. They've already done it. They've said, hey, our proof, our evidence is their lack of evidence. That's 1 grain of our evidence. The lack of evidence is telling us that we don't necessarily need to be looking at Bryan either at all, very redundant conversation, or we don't need to be looking at him alone, which points back to, okay, well, who in the hell should we be looking at? Because from everybody, from the prosecution to the media to the damn Idaho University, y'all are telling us we're good. This case is sitting locked in a jail cell, wherever the hell Bryan locked up at. We know better. And over here, we also got to look at y'all rushing to do things that, hey, it's like, now we're going to get to Mr. Steve Gonzalez. I'm going to tell you how my mind works. I don't like controlling people. So when I hear Steve Gonzalez say, hey man, we're telling the university who's absolutely in charge of this that we and 2 other families don't want this house demolished. Number 1, bro, you be trying to run everything. Sit your ass down somewhere. The ignorant side of me just says, just because you want something, I'm going to show you that you're not going to get it and do the opposite. The wise side of me says, I don't like this dude at all by now, and I was very gracious in not saying it earlier, and I could still be wrong. He could just be a grieving father reacting, but he seems like a damn control freak who missed his opportunity to be a man in charge, and now he's looking for it again. He thinks this is it. But sir, do we know that those 2 others, they can't speak? Are you just inviting and including them into something that they, like maybe they said something that gives you a right to make a conclusion that may not be facts, that they don't want the house? Did they say that they also don't want the house torn down? Or is that something that you're saying, sir? But either way, I have to agree with this man. And at a point about this issue, at a point I didn't know how I felt about the house being torn down, because I get the business aspect of it. You want to rebuild, you want to do all this for the community, but doesn't the community also want to be safe? Don't you want to know that you got the right people when you got these, I want to say curse words right now, praise God I won't. You have these 2 girls lying like hell. Bethany either was involved and she's covering up, or she knows something that's going to blow the case wide open. I'm telling you guys, I think it's going to come down to Bethany or Dylan finally breaking the snitching on each other. There's no way in hell those 2 girls are going to keep this lie up. I don't see it. The only way I think they're going to be able to keep the 2 lies up, is it's the same thing. There's a massive cover up, and somebody in Moscow, Idaho, hell, I don't know if it's the mob, I don't know who it is. I don't want to put no false accusations on nobody, but somebody telling them, yo, bro, you're going to suffer the same fate that them 4 suffer if you let this out. That's the only, other than that, there's no way in hell these two of them are going to keep their mouths closed. There's no way in hell. So I think it's either going to boil down to them telling on each other, telling on whoever else is involved, I think this is going to go down in history with a man being framed for a crime that he either didn't commit or didn't commit alone. And this is going to be one of the biggest cover-ups that we've ever seen. Now, if Bryan didn't commit the crime, which his lawyer at least seems to believe, that's very sad, man. If he did commit it or was involved in it but not alone, will he eventually tell? Because I would go back to that, hey, was anybody else arrested? Now there are conflicting reports about whether Bryan even said that at all or whether that was just a misrepresentation of something that may have never been said. If Bryan didn't commit this crime, this is very sad, man, because I'm telling you, man, my bottom line conclusion is this is a massive cover-up, bro. And it just simply points back to and stems from the fact that based on what we know, the information we've been given and the crime and tragedy that happened, there's damn near no way that those two surviving roommates aren't involved. And when I say surviving, I mean they were left alive. I don't mean in any type of victim sense whatsoever. There's no way that they aren't involved. And if they are involved, then we can see that with our blind eyes, then why in the hell can't all of the professional law enforcement and the other people in this situation see it as well and investigate that? And then you tie that in with the rush to tear down this house. And before you're tearing it down, you're sending in cleaning crews. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors that people in the town are also saying that there are a lot of things that go on here. Quaint, wonderful, awesome. Little house on the prairie, Mayberry. But I said it in my earlier video, guys. We never heard of 4 murders happening in Mayberry. You know why? A little house on the prairie. You know why? Because those towns were not real. Moscow, Idaho is very real. And so is some of the bullshit that's going on and being covered up there. I don't know what that bullshit is, but I ain't crazy, man. And until, man, y'all be safe out there. Sorry the videos are getting longer, right? I need to calm my ass down and chill my ass out. If you don't see my face in this video, just know I recorded it for my face to be in it. I'm trying to get a little more, extroverted with y'all, man. I'm out.
Gray says 3 of the families want it preserved until after the trial, despite the prosecution and the defense telling the court they approved of the crime scene being released.
We have made it very clear to the University of Idaho that we do not want that house to be demolished, and they are ignoring us completely. And when I say ignoring them, I mean that they respond and they say, okay, yeah, we understand what you're saying, but basically tough cookie. We're going to go ahead forward with it because they say that it's for the good of the community and good for the University of Idaho, but it's not. It's not the good for the community or the University of Idaho. It may be good for the University of Idaho for everyone to hurry up and forget that there was a murder that occurred right off campus, but it's not for the victims' families. And we've stressed to them over and over about the Carnudo family, the Mogan family, and the Gonzalez family do not want that house to be demolished, and they're moving forward anyway.
Is it the money? Y'all want to get back to making that university money, and ain't no way in hell nobody coming to that town and that school if killers are still on the loose. Maybe somebody with too much power and too many connections is involved, and y'all can't let them go down like that. Whatever it is, man, you couldn't train a willing puppet to believe that this case begins and ends with Bryan Kohberger. And then again, looking at the landscape, maybe you could. But the rest of us, we want answers. Real answers.